Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here, and the Dong Report is back in your life. Again, I'm Matt Moda. I'm going to have 3 home run predictions for you guys to lock in for today's MLB betting slate. So finally, the MLB is back. The All-Star break is behind us. The MLB is back. Hopefully that also means dongs are back for today as well. Again, I'm going to have 3 for you guys to lock in. Just to do a recap on how the season has gone so far. If you look at the entire season, it's admittedly not been great. We're down over 11 units on the entire season as a whole. But if you look at the data since June 1st, we are up over 6 units in that stretch. And really what it comes down to, the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season were just brutal, absolutely brutal. I could not get a home run to save my life. Basically, since April 21st, we have been up for the year. Those first 3 weeks were just so bad. It's just taking us a while to get ourselves in the green on the season. So hopefully we are on our way to do that. We ended on a little bit of a hot streak right up until the All-Star break. Aside from the last 2 days, up until then, we were on a hot streak. So let's hope we can keep that going. If you're not already, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like the video, comment, all that stuff does help me out a ton. And then I do have a Dub Club where I send all my picks out. $5 a month gets everything sent directly to your phone. If you're not sure what a Dub Club is, that's kind of what it does. It's just for people like me to send out picks. So if you're interested in that, check it out in the description of the video as well as the pinned comment. But let's get right into these dong picks. Let's see if we can get donged today. Starting in the Astros versus Mariners game, I'm taking Yordan Alvarez to hit a home run plus 290 odds at FanDuel. Yordan, kind of similar to the Dong Report. If you look at the entire season, having a little bit of a down year, but he ended the last 30 days leading up until the All-Star break on a pretty good roll. So the hope here is that he is coming out of that slump that happened at the beginning of the season, and then he starts to go on a home run binge in the second half of the season, kind of like what he showed right up until the All-Star break. If you look at his last 30 days, he's hit 5 home runs in those 30 days, giving him an ISO rate of 29% in that stretch and a barrel rate of 16.1% in that stretch as well. So both his ISO rates and barrel rate are in the excellent category as defined by Fangraphs if you look at his last 30 days. His hard hit rate in that stretch is a solid 41.1%. His fly ball rate is a very good 48.2% in that stretch as well. So the fly ball rate coupled with how hard he's hitting the baseball, that's what's led to his home run binge. And I also like the fact that Yordan is better against right-handed pitching. He's a lefty facing a righty tonight, and he's much, much better against righties. If you look at his entire season, his ISO rate against right-handed pitching is 24.6%. That is up from 21.4% against left-handed pitching. So it's slightly better, but still better. And not only is he facing a righty tonight, he's facing Luis Castillo of the Mariners, but Castillo struggles more against left-handed hitting as well. Obviously, Yordan Alvarez is a lefty, so it's kind of a match made in heaven there. Castillo's allowed 15 home runs this season. 10 of those home runs have come to left-handed hitters, and that's despite the fact that he's literally seen fewer at-bats against lefties. He has seen 31, to be exact, fewer plate appearances against left-handed hitters, and even with that, 10 of his 15 home runs given up have been to left-handed hitters. It's phenomenal how much worse he is against lefties. His home run per 9 against lefties is 1.79. That would be the worst home run per 9 in the entire MLB if he just extrapolated that 1.79 out to all qualified pitchers. Castillo's fly ball rate allowed against lefties is 45.3%. His hard hit rate allowed is 32.9%. Both of those would be in the bottom 20 of all qualified pitchers. Again, if you just extrapolated that out. And Yordan has a long history of success against Castillo as well. These two have 12 plate appearances against each other over the last 3 years. In those 12 plate appearances, Yordan has 6 hits, so he's batting .500. And in those 6 hits, he's got 3 home runs and another extra base hit as well. That would be literally a .500 average with 4 extra base hits, 3 of which are home runs and only 12 at-bats. Incredible success. Let's hope that Yordan stays hot, cashing out our first dong play of the day. Next up, we are heading to the Rays versus Yankees, and for our second play, we are taking Juan Soto to hit a home run plus 370 odds. This one is best offered at Caesars. So in Juan Soto, another situation where the batter has a long history of success against the pitcher. This would be, again, Juan Soto is the batter going up against Zach Eflin of the Rays. Soto, obviously, everybody knows, is a lefty. Zach Eflin is a righty. And these two, they have 11 plate appearances against each other in the last 3 years. And in those 11 plate appearances, Soto has 4 hits for 1 home run and 1 double against Eflin. So not quite as good as the stats that Yordan had against Luis Castillo, but that's still a .364 batting average with 2 extra base hits, one of which being a home run. That's still very, very good numbers against the pitcher. And this is also going to be the 3rd time that Eflin's going to have faced the Yankees this season, and we're only in July. So Soto is very familiar with his pitching at this point, so hopefully that does help us with this. And overall, Soto, I mean, he's just having a phenomenal, fantastic year. He's tied for 6th in the MLB with 23 home runs. He's got the 9th best ISO rate at 26.3%, the 2nd best barrel rate at 18.8%. He's one of the rare batters that is a qualified batter, which means that he has enough plate appearances to qualify, while also having both of his ISO rate and his barrel rate in the excellent category. Not a ton of batters can boast that. It's like Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani. There's a couple, but he's one of the rare ones that are excellent in both. And then from there, other advanced stats. Hard hit rate of 57.6%. That's the 3rd best in the MLB. He's got the 4th fastest average exit velocity at 94.8 miles per hour. And he hits right-handed pitching harder. I mentioned he's going up against a righty tonight. That's what Eflin is. His ISO rate against righties, 28.5%, up from 21% against lefties. So that is the difference between a great ISO rate according to FanGraphs and excellent. Excellent obviously being the number that we're looking for against righties. And then Eflin, he's worse against left-handed hitters as well. Granted, his hard hit rate is worse against righties, but his fly ball rate goes up 9% from 34.4% to 43.3% against lefties, from righties to lefties. And his pull rate is also slightly higher against lefties as well. That pull rate is going to help specifically at Yankee Stadium that has such a short right field, which is really good for left-handed hitters. So let's hope that Soto, having great here, has great success against Eflin, stays hot tonight, mashes a monster dong for us. And then lastly, our 3rd and final pick of the video, Giants versus Rockies game. I'm taking Michael Toglia to hit a home run, plus 560 odds at FanDuel. So Toglia missed about 2 months of the season. He missed from early April all the way to early June. So basically he missed all of April and May is really all you need to know. So if you look at the qualified leaders, he does not have enough plate appearances to officially qualify. But if you change the minimum appearances instead to be qualified hitters, but to be all hitters that have 150 plate appearances or more, so you set the minimum at 150, he has among the best numbers in the entire MLB. And that's not being exaggerated. That's not exaggerating at all. He's got the 4th highest ISO rate at 30.6%, the 5th best barrel rate at 18.1%, the 12th best hard hit rate at 53.4%, and the 15th fastest average exit velocity at 92.9 miles per hour. Fantastic numbers across the board with an excellent ISO rate and barrel rate for his entire season. And granted, yes, he doesn't have enough plate appearances to be an officially qualified batter, but for his full season, he has an excellent ISO rate and barrel rate. And for this matchup tonight, he's much, much better against left-handed pitching. And he's a switch hitter, so he's facing a lefty, which means he's going to be batting righty tonight. But he's much better as a righty facing lefties. He's hit 16 home runs this season. 9 of those home runs have come against left-handed pitching. And that's while having literally half the at-bats are against lefties. He has 124 plate appearances against righties, 68 against lefties. That is almost half. And despite that, 9 of his 16 home runs have been against lefties. That means he has hit 9 home runs and 68 plate appearances against lefties. That's a crazy good number. His ISO rate against lefties, 44.3%. That ISO rate would even be above Aaron Judge if he had qualified with that ISO rate. Obviously, it's a smaller sample size because of the injury, and now we're also diluting it looking at left-handed pitchers as well, but still, just annihilates lefties. And as I mentioned, he's a switch hitter, going to be batting righty tonight. The pitcher he's facing, Kyle Harrison of the I almost said 49ers, of the Giants, wrong sport. He's much, much worse against right-handed hitters. Fly ball rate, pull rate, hard hit rate, all higher against right-handed hitters. And while these two, they haven't seen each other yet, this is a matchup that should heavily favor the batter in Michael Toglia. Harrison throws a four-seam fastball 61% of the time. The four-seam fastball is the pitch that Toglia hits for the most power of all pitches he has seen. ISO rate of 42.9% against four-seamers. That's by far his best power pitch that he hits for the most power, I should say. So again, these two have not seen each other. This should heavily favor the batter. Let's hope that it does, and he mashes one for us. Plus 560 is really, really juicy. Would love to get this one to go out of the ballpark. But that's all we got. 3 dong predictions for you guys to lock in. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe. And then if you're still here, I would recommend following me on Twitter as well, because there are a bunch of players that don't make the official dong report that I do like as an honorable mention. So I put all those guys in a round robin. And those round robins were up like, I think 9 units on Saturday and Sunday to end the All-Star break. 9 units for the round robins, and that's all on Twitter. For those of you that have been following, you can vouch. For those of you that have not been following, I recommend doing so. So Jedi Modi is my Twitter handle. You see it everywhere on the screen, in the pinned comment, all that stuff. But again, that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good one.